Hello, Merrimack families. It's something we've talked about for the last few months, and I feel like it's now we've got a date set that we can see things happening in the future, and it looks as though we are going to be inviting students back here sooner rather than later. So we are in the process, as I'm hoping you guys all know, of bringing back our students starting here in just a couple weeks. It's been a heck of a 6 months. We've seen things that we've had to experience things we never would have been able to expect. And I know you guys have heard me say all this before, but it's been a learning experience for us in so many ways. It's also been one of those things that has challenged us and pushed us. And hopefully, like I actually mentioned to our students this morning as part of my morning announcements, my hope is that these are things that at the end of all this, we'll be able to look back and see how we've learned and how we've grown and become better at what we've done, what we do because of it. So I just want to say thank you for your continued support through this. It has meant the world to us. I did send an email earlier this week that had a lot of details in it. There will still be some additional communication coming with more specific details on some of the areas regarding, we've had questions about things such as, do you need to bring back supplies? Yes. I would plan on bringing back your school supplies as your kids are coming back in for orientation days. We may have some specific information coming from the teachers regarding exactly what they may need you if there are changes to those lists, but some of those things are all to come, but for right now, I just wanted to kind of first just say we're excited. There's obviously some things that we want to make sure we're doing to help keep both the students and staff safe. So there is going to be a lot of changes with regards to how the building looks, how school functions, things that are very different than they were last time our students were here. So we are going to want to kind of go slow and make sure we're taking our time to bring our students in and help them orient themselves to a new environment. So we are going to be doing this over a period of time. So starting on October the 5th, we will be bringing in kindergartners. So as our kindergarten students come in, we want them to have some time where they're the only ones in the building. They're going to be coming in for half-day orientations on October the 5th. And so then on those days, as they come in, we'll bring in half of the group in the morning, half of the group in the afternoon, and then we'll have some time to kind of work with them and get them used to being in school and starting to see school. They will then have the rest of that week where it will only be kindergarten students in the building. The following week, we will do a similar process for both our first and second grade as we get them back in the building. And so on October 12th will be the orientations for first and second grade as they come back into the building. And then they will be here for a week. The week of October the 19th, there is going to be some changes with regards to a few things October the 19th that you may have had that have been on the calendar for a while. You're going to want to check the calendar. There's a link in this email or in our Merrimack Messenger today with some information about calendar changes, and the big calendar change that happens that week of October 19th are conference days. Our conference dates are going to be moved back until the week of November the 9th. And the reason for this will be, we're just getting students in the building. This gives us more time to get them in the building for us to get to know them before we try to schedule conferences as well. So conference dates are going to be pushed back, like I said, to the week of November the 9th. But you can get all these specific dates again on this email. It kind of has some links to some of those dates. So when you see our messenger coming home, the newsletter coming home, there should be some dates, a link to a calendar that'll have that. During that week of October 19th is also on the 20th. We'll be bringing in third grade in the afternoon for their orientation. On the 21st, fourth grade will be coming in for their orientation. And then on the 22nd, fifth grade comes in the orientation. 3, 4, and 5 are all going to be done in the afternoons. That following week, October the 26th, should have all students, entire building here in person. So starting the week of October 5th, there is a group coming in. Basically, every week there will be things kind of going on as we roll students into the building in a way that allows for us to work with them to help them get acquainted to the building, to orient them in a different way, to make sure we're meeting the needs of different ages of students. So I hope all that makes sense. Again, I know I'm going to go through a lot of dates, but a lot of those things can be covered in the email. There's a link to a PDF of the calendar that will help remind you of all these things. The other big piece I want to mention is October 1st and October 2nd. So this is next Thursday and Friday. those days are days where our teachers need to have some time to be able to get into the buildings to help prepare their classrooms, make sure they've got everything in their classrooms ready for the students to come in. And so in order for this to happen, there will be asynchronous lessons that day. Those 2 days will be completely asynchronous, which means it'll look similar to the way it did last spring, where there will be materials that will be developed and created for your classrooms or for your students that they will then do on their own pace and on their own time. So they still will be school days, but there won't be the live sessions with the teachers on those days as they're helping kind of get things finalized and ready to go for all those other things that I just mentioned previous to this. So please be on the lookout for those asynchronous days. Again, those will be days where you may not see your teachers live that morning, but they will be available for you to kind of still see, and just to be materials for you to still do and still see and work on. So those October 1st and October 2nd, next Thursday and Friday, will be completely asynchronous days. So please do not be wondering where your teacher is that day. They will be working, but it will be that those days they will have already had things prepared for your students on those days. So I hope all that makes sense. All right, so I've covered a lot of dates, covered a lot of information. There will still be some specific things coming from us regarding, just more, like I said, more classroom specific things about what materials you may need, some of those pieces. But I would encourage you to kind of go back if you hadn't had a chance to see the email that I sent earlier this week that has a lot of information. Kind of look through some of those pieces and know there are still some things to come. So we will want you to be on the lookout for that also. So we hope you guys are ready to go, having a great weekend. We're excited to see your kids. We hope they're all excited to come back and see us. It is going to be a little bit of a different world, but at the same point in time, kids in the building, us working with them, that's what we're here for. So we're excited to see them. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and make sure, just let me know if you need anything else. Thanks. Bye.